Hello, this is part two of my talk to families about word study. We're focusing on two stages, the word study for learners in the emergent stage and word study for beginners in the letter name alphabetic stage of spelling. Again, my handouts can be found at this website. We recommend that you look at some of our core books. In this case, this is a new book out. And then for these grades, I guess, or levels rather, we're looking at Words Their Way pre-KK, but also going back to the 6th edition and English learners as needed. So let's start with the emergent stage. You can see the approximations of writing. And this is the diet, the literacy diet for the emergent stage. You are probably familiar with all of these things, and we always start with oral language and concept development and thinking and vocabulary. Phonological awareness, alphabet knowledge, letter sound knowledge, concepts about print. These are all things you're probably aware of already. And I'm going to show you examples of each of these things. Number 6 is new to people, cow, and I always like to take a moment to share cow. So these children are pretend reading, they're learning why we have written language, and we do plenty of reading to the children. And I like to look carefully for number 3, concept of word in text. Again, you can see the writing from going clockwise from top left all the way down to BLOAE. Notice the capitals predominate. And we've moved from circles or squiggles to circles to letters to something like a name. This is called a concept sort. We'll come back to concept sorts in part 3. But this is an animal type of sort, zoo versus farm, I think. Very appropriate kindergarten, pre-K activities are wonderful when we have physicals. We look at little board games. This is pretty far advanced, this particular one, but there are all kinds of board games that we can play with pictures as well. This would be good for a picture sort. We don't want to forget reading to children and helping children to become readers. This is a free resource at that website. An excellent one. We often think about going back further up the language stream during the emergent stage, particularly for having fun with rhythmic activities at a phrasal and a rhythmic level before we get too heavy into phonological awareness and phonemic work. So we look at holistic, natural activities, dancing and movement and singing. Drumming and tapping are awfully fun. And we begin in pre-kindergarten with these activities. For some children, we want to coordinate these activities with speech and language services. So that cow I was talking about, concept of word and text, a few children who experience serious delays in language also have delays in acquiring a cow. Their references, Goswami is a good one in the reference section. Our teacher called it the miracle of reading, when they can have a concept of word, and we think about it in 3 steps. This is Daryl Morris's dissertation, but I'm pointing as I'm saying Sam, the baker, and when I'm saying cur, I'm pointing to man. Or down below, washed his face in frying, and when I'm saying ing, I'm pointing to pan. These children are not pointing accurately to something that they've memorized. And that means also to me that they are going to take a while to learn the sound symbol correspondences. So I'm going to work on concept of word in text. So we're going to have little rhymes and ditties, and the children can have these charts or even pieces of paper with this on it, as you'll see. And they're pointing 1, 2. Now this child actually went buckle my, because we don't talk in words, we talk in phrases and breath groups and speech envelopes, and the sense of what a word is a bit new. So she could have gone buckle and be pointing to my when she said cull, 1, 2, buckle. And if either case, the children will take longer to use these as sight words, and will take longer to use these for phonics in their reading and writing. So here's some writing by a child who's a little further along, who is beginning to point. Bed, ship, drive, bump, when. The T and when I'm not sure of, but everything else makes sense. Drive with the reverse J makes a lot of sense. J and DR or JR and DR are made similarly in the mouth, and that's characteristic of that stage. And so here are some of the activities that we'll do with children: alphabet matching, uppercase, lowercase, my name, spinners, and then they spin and find the letter to the left and move it to the right. Sorting beginning consonant sounds. Here's a ditty that the children learned that they're going to keep on rereading, and that's going to be typed up for them. So once they have those ingredients down that we talked about for a diet, if you will, then we see the children are in the beginning stage, the alphabetic letter name stage. So these children are beginning in stage of literacy, letter name alphabetic. They begin to use a finger point as they read. They read aloud to themselves. They're monotonic, disfluent, staccato-ish. They use a finger, and they need support in their reading activities, just like a beginning child learning to ride a bicycle. Notice what's missing here in these children's writings of these spellings of these words is that the vowel is missing, and often during this beginning point, children put in the leave out the vowels and concentrate on the consonants. The noise, consonants are noise and vowels are music. If I had more time, I'd go back and look at the Y, and why would someone spell when with a Y? And these all are invented spellings that make sense if you unpack them. They're supported by research. The easiest one is float at the bottom. Ship is an interesting one. The children are spelling based on how it feels in the mouth, and they're using a letter name strategy to spell. There is no letter name, and so they use the letter name E. E. And if you compare I, you can feel in your mouth how it and E feel alike in the mouth when you say them. And that's why children are making these substitutions that make a lot of sense when you use that principle of articulation to try to interpret some of children's invented spellings. Fan, pet, dig, rob, hope, wait, gum, sled, stick. The sled is, the vowels make a lot of sense. Letter name alphabetic, word study. is more advanced now. We begin with beginning consonants and sort of get a running start, just that overlap between stages. But we also work on beginning blends and digraphs. Here is an S, SH, and H sort. Well, slider still works, and the children write the known words to the right. Picture sorts at the pocket charts. A word study notebook looking at word families. CAP, looking at short vowels in this case. Short A, short I, short O. Here the child is writing words from his word bank of known words into his word study notebook. An important part of word study for us. This is a word study notebook page, and you can see the words and the pictures. So the child starts with the pictures and then puts the words in underneath. Just a simple game. You call out the word and the children can make those sounds and three-letter words. Here's a word study notebook, short I, long I, and an oddball. They use these words in their writing. They use them in their sorts at their seat work. We have them take these home. And so the next stage will be the third, when we look at within word pattern, transitional stage development, when children in word study are looking at long vowels. So thank you for joining me.